30 years of art. I can't even believe it's been that long. So when I set out on this road, I had no idea what I was doing. I had no clue how this would end up. And I took a giant leap of faith in my gut, in a gut feeling. And I can't even believe I did that. But anyway, here's where we are. 30 years later, I see what I created. And all along I knew that it was a web. I just didn't understand all the logistics. But anyway, now I do. Conglomerations of information. You know, it's not just science or just history or any segment of that sort. It's all of the things, all of the time, from the very freaking beginning of this project. I cannot believe how unadulterated this work has been. Nobody told me what to do. I never listened to anybody anyway. I don't know. It's as pure as art could be. It had no agenda. That's what we have here is a giant amalgamation of humanity, or as much of humanity as I could find to incorporate, as much of the necessary pieces, because also this is a very, very calculated and edited series. If I could go back in time knowing what I know now, there's not a damn thing about it that I would change. Either I haven't grown as a person in 30 freaking years, or I really did this right. Stay true to yourself, and at the end, you'll see what you made. Just believe in yourself and you just keep going. So I said, all right, sounds like a plan. That's, you know, I figured this was a person 30 years my senior at the time who was telling me this is how it plays out, you know, and if this is the road you want to take, this is the way you should do it. And I went, all right, that makes sense, because you know something that I don't know. And I got lucky that that person was honest, because I've been given advice in the past where I said, you know, why would you give me that kind of advice when you knew it was wrong? And they said, hey, you know, I was going to give you advice. I didn't say it was going to be helpful or good for you. So that was a really important lesson learned along the way. So I'm just really lucky that either I could identify that this person was being honest, or I just got really freaking lucky that they just turned out to be. So the result is badass. So here we are. Here's the badassery. Ultimately, like in a nutshell, this web, it's called Tangled Web, and it was tangled as fuck. But now I've untangled some of its pieces, and I see the pattern. I just can't live long enough to complete every piece of this pattern. And so in the future, people will have to partake in the completion of this web. I don't know which people, whoever can, right? But those people should, because if this pattern is completed, the end result is original thought. When I say it out loud, it sounds fucking crazy. But also, I know that beyond any doubt. And that's fucking nuts. But nuts as it may be, the truth remains. And that's what it is. So the pieces are not together, but they should be. Because collectively they make some freaking magic. And it's not just mine. I started it, but other people have to finish it. I gave this 30 years. Excuse me. I gave it 30 years of my life, and I had to do it in this way. I couldn't have waited and begun this project, say now, because what if I died before its completion? I will tell you this about life. When you know who you are, oh fuck, I'm gonna try to say it without crying. When you know who you are and you know what you stand for, and you believe it, and you follow it all the fucking way, it is nothing short of magic. At no part of this journey was it easy. But holy crap, do you not think that it's worth it to have at some point, and I don't know if this is too huge a vision for my lifetime. For the art world, it's really hard to understand because, you know, whenever you show a small portion of pieces, they don't make sense. As a small number, they don't make sense. Only as the whole. I mean, they do. They individually stand for themselves, and they make very, very much sense for what they are as the individual. But when they are combined, that is a whole nother thing. And so the art world hasn't seen that because I've had really no way to convey that before. That's bullshit. I had ways to convey it. I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready for it. The project wasn't finished, and I battled it out with myself for like the last bit of it, you know? I almost didn't even want to finish it because I really suck at the tail end of things like that sometimes. I always see them through because it's the right thing to do. But there's always a part of me that doesn't want to. It's like, yeah, I know how it plays out. I'm already there, so who cares? Let me go do the next thing. And I don't know. I struggle with that part because I'm bored. But here we are. I made it all the way through. And that is my pattern. That's how I seem to work. Is that I'll bitch about it in the end, but I'm still there. I'll see it through. And this thing, not with everything, I'm selective as fuck, but with this project, I had to. And what a damn risk it was. Like, I wouldn't recommend this way of life. It cost a lot. So it was always real. It was always as true as it could be. And it captured the essence of who we are as humanity. As a whole, it does that. And you could see so many pieces, like literary references and, you know, mythology and religion and history and art history and whatever, archaeology, I mean, freaking everything, astrophysics, I mean, everything. I jam-packed everything into it. And here's the weird part, right? It's not that I'm unaware that AI and certain algorithms can do that. already. If you combine all that technological information, of course it can. It can absolutely repeat this in a different way. And I don't know if the end result is the same. So I have considered that, like, have I wasted 30 years of my life because now we have technology that could like wipe me out in a second? So yes, that is true on some level. But also, it lacks consciousness. It lacks the human experience to really understand what that is at the very freaking core. It lacks that. And because of that, because it was made by a human, the long run plays out well. The long run of the story of humanity plays out great. As a society, people are, you know, generally in a good place. If there's no heart in the work, and if it's only machine and it doesn't understand that other part of who we are, there's no fucking way that story plays out well. It just makes me sad. Okay. That story makes me sad. That outcome makes me sad. And it's not a definitive. It's not like there aren't other possibilities. There are. It's just that it's so fucking probable. But it's fine. It actually doesn't matter because I gave you a fucking way out. When I say I gave you, there's a whole lot to that. You contain so much, and I can't. We'll be here for like a really long time if I speak it. But I condensed all this information to the very pertinent core elements of this whole thing. I edited every fucking thing. If I were to put like a figure on it, I was definitely ultra careful with every fucking aspect of this. Like 99.997% of the time. I'm sure you could actually calculate the accuracy of that figure if you had all my work. Together. Anyway, that's the truth of it. As fucking nuts as it may seem, it is what it is. And now it's over. I gave you what I could give you. This is my contribution to society. And it's all I freaking got. Which is actually a fucking lot. I'm just saying. Gather up your PhDs and have them look through it. But as a collective, you know, as a unit. So that might take a while, and I'm not holding my breath. I have other crap to do, and I'm not dead yet. So hopefully I get to see this play out in the future. It's a possibility. I just don't see how probable it is. I hope you don't blow it. That's all I got.